Did you know that the world consumes close to 2.25 billion cups of coffee every day? Now that's a latte coffee. It's amusing, isn't it? This magical elixir has somehow brewed its way into our daily rituals, becoming an essential morning companion for many, a midday pick-me-up for others, and for some, a late-night study buddy. It's a universal language, really. From the bustling streets of New York to the serene landscapes of Bali, people everywhere are saying yes to that extra cup of joy. Coffee isn't just a beverage, it's a culture, a lifestyle. It has the power to kickstart conversations, forge friendships, and even spark revolutions. And amidst this global coffee frenzy, one name stands out, being almost synonymous with coffee itself. Speaking of coffee, ever wondered how a little coffee shop in Seattle became the world's largest coffee house chain? Let's brew over the story of Starbucks. Back in 1971, Starbucks was just a single store at Seattle's Pike Place Market. Picture this, three friends, Jerry Baldwin, Zev Siegel, and Gordon Bowker, all sharing a mutual love for quality coffee. They were not just coffee lovers, but enthusiasts, eager to bring the best of the best to the bustling community of Seattle. Their passion was palpable, and it led them to open the first Starbucks store, a quaint, charming space brimming with the rich aroma of fresh coffee beans. The name Starbucks, inspired by the character Starbuck from the classic novel Moby Dick, was meant to reflect the seafaring tradition of the early coffee traders. In the beginning, Starbucks was not the coffee shop as we know it today. It was in fact a retailer of coffee beans. Yes, you heard that right. Starbucks began as a mere broker of beans, selling high-quality, freshly roasted coffee beans and coffee-making accessories. The trio believed in the essence of a well-brewed cup of coffee at home, savored in solitude or shared with loved ones. The concept of selling brewed coffee to go was not even on their radar. But the beauty of Starbucks lay in its simplicity. It wasn't just about selling coffee beans, it was about establishing a culture that celebrated the art of coffee making, the joy of tasting different coffee beans, and the delight of brewing your own cup of coffee. They were just three friends with a shared passion, but their zeal and commitment were infectious. The people of Seattle soon fell in love with Starbucks, and the single store at Pike Place Market became a beloved local spot. And so, the humble beginnings of Starbucks were marked by passion, quality, and a love for coffee that was deeply ingrained in its founders' hearts. Little did they know they were just a few beans away from brewing a global coffee empire. Enter Howard Schultz, the man who envisioned the Starbucks experience. This charismatic New Yorker walked into the Starbucks scene in 1982 not as a coffee connoisseur, but as a director of retail operations and marketing. His mission? To steep himself in the world of gourmet coffee and conjure up ways to make Starbucks a household name. Schultz's journey took an interesting turn when he traveled to Italy. Amid the quaint cobblestone streets, he was captivated by the Italian coffee bar culture. The espresso bars in every neighborhood, the camaraderie, the conversation, the sense of community. It was a far cry from the grab-and-go coffee culture of America. Schultz was enthralled and began brewing an audacious idea. He envisioned transforming Starbucks from a simple coffee bean retailer into a vibrant community hub, a place where people didn't just buy coffee, but experienced it. However, this idea didn't quite resonate with the original Starbucks owners. They were purists, focused on selling high-quality coffee beans and equipment, not on creating a European-style coffee house culture. Undeterred, Schultz decided to venture on his own. He departed Starbucks in 1985 and established Il Giornale, a coffee house chain that embodied his vision. Il Giornale was a success, proving that Schultz's idea had merit. In a twist of fate, 2 years later, the original Starbucks owners decided to sell their 6 stores and Schultz seized the opportunity. He returned, not as an employee but as the owner, merging Il Giornale with Starbucks. With this, he brought his vision for a coffee culture to Starbucks, changing the face of the brand and setting it on a path to becoming the coffee empire we know today. And just like that, Starbucks was about to get a caffeine kick like no other. It was time for Starbucks to wake up and smell not just the coffee, but the immense potential brewing in each cup. The Schultz effect was in full swing, and Starbucks was about to take the world by storm. Starbucks went from serving beans to serving experiences. And this was just the beginning. The year was 1990. a time when grunge was making waves from Seattle to the world, much like another Seattle native was about to. Starbucks, with its unique blend of quality coffee and homely experience, was ready to step outside its comfort zone. The city of Winds, Chicago, was the first to receive a Starbucks outside of Seattle. It was a bold move considering the city's intense loyalty to local brands. But Starbucks was not just another coffee shop, it was a coffee experience, and the people of Chicago embraced it. The success of the Chicago store paved the way for a rapid expansion across the United States. But Starbucks wasn't just content with winning over America. It had its eyes on the world. In 1996, Starbucks crossed the Pacific and opened its first international store in Tokyo, Japan. It was a gamble. After all, Japan is a tea-drinking nation. But Starbucks believed in its coffee experience, and so did the Japanese. The store was a hit, and Starbucks was now officially an international brand. The rapid expansion continued. From the bustling streets of Tokyo to the historic squares of Europe, Starbucks was popping up everywhere. By the turn of the century, Starbucks was in 30 countries. From Australia's sun-soaked beaches to Mexico's vibrant cities, the Starbucks logo was becoming a familiar sight across the globe. But it wasn't just the coffee that Starbucks was exporting. It was an experience, a slice of Seattle in every cup. It wasn't just about grabbing a quick coffee. It was about taking a moment, enjoying the atmosphere, and savoring the flavor. And the world loved it. From Seattle to the world, Starbucks was leaving no coffee mug unturned. Today, Starbucks is synonymous with coffee itself. It's a statement that rings true in over 70 countries across the globe. But what makes this coffee giant stand out in a world brimming with caffeine options? Starbucks' success lies in its unique approach to coffee, an approach that's as richly layered as the lattes it serves. It's more than just a place to grab a quick cup of joe. It's a destination, a meeting spot, a second home for many. Starbucks has made coffee an experience, not just a beverage. At the heart of this experience is the bean itself. Starbucks sources its beans from the best coffee-growing regions worldwide. But it's not just about the origin of the beans. Starbucks has a meticulous process to ensure that every cup of coffee served is of the highest quality. The beans are roasted to perfection, bringing out their unique flavors and aromas. They're then ground and brewed, transforming from humble beans into the coffee that millions of people around the world adore. But the magic doesn't stop there. Starbucks has mastered the art of personalization. With endless combinations of flavors, milks, and sweeteners, you can have your coffee just the way you like it. It's this attention to detail, this commitment to crafting the perfect cup, that makes Starbucks more than just a coffee shop. And then there's the Starbucks community. From the baristas who know your order by heart to the fellow coffee lovers you share a table with, Starbucks has fostered a sense of belonging that goes beyond the walls of its stores. Starbucks' success isn't just about the numbers, although those are impressive too. It's about the experience, the quality, the community. It's about a company that took a simple beverage and turned it into a global phenomenon. So the next time you sip your Starbucks coffee, remember, it's not just coffee, it's a story brewed over many decades. From a single store in Seattle to over 30,000 stores worldwide, Starbucks isn't just a brand, it's a phenomenon. It's a story that begins in a spirit of entrepreneurship and ends in a cup of coffee. Starbucks has not only transformed the way we think about coffee, but also how we live our lives. It's a tale of humble beginnings, of a man named Schultz, and of a global expansion that has made Starbucks a household name. Every Starbucks coffee, every store, and every customer interaction is a testament to the brand's commitment to quality and customer satisfaction. It's a testament to a vision that saw beyond the beans and into the heart of coffee culture. Starbucks has become more than just a coffee shop. It's a part of our mornings, our routines, our conversations, and our lives. We've spilled the beans on the Starbucks story. Now it's time for you to brew some stories of your own. Until next time, keep brewing and keep smiling.